Of Your Britain, yes, Your Britain, every Monday 5 p.m. UK time, only on Kanshi TV, your number one entertainment channel, Sky 772, broadcasting to over 180 countries, yes, 180 countries around the world watching this live telecast. And as always, you're very well aware, in Your Britain we have new faces, new topics, new subjects which we discuss every Monday. So just before I introduce you to my guest, let me also remind you that you can watch this program on YouTube, repeat shows as well, and there's many ways of watching this program again. So if you've missed it this evening, nothing to worry about. You can watch it on YouTube and Kanshi TV websites and many other sources that we have. Also, let me remind you, especially for our business community, as you know, the holy month of Ramadan is approaching us. I believe it's going to be 3rd or the 4th of April where we start. So my message to the business community out there is, if you would like to advertise your business during this beautiful holy month of Ramadan, please do not hesitate to contact myself. All my details you will easily access from the production team, and also you can go onto my Facebook page, and we have packages starting from £99 a month for the holy this holy month. Again, T's and C's apply, terms and conditions apply. So please feel free to contact us, and believe you me, we won't be beaten by any other channels. So please do give us a chance, and we'll get our marketing team out to you. Right, today, just तरह नाज़रीन मैंने कहा कि today we'll be talking about a movie which is going to be releasing very shortly here in the UK. We have two actors from this particular movie who are sitting besides me. We'll be talking about this particular movie. Why have they decided to produce and broadcast this type of movie, and the material which is in the movie? So there's many questions which I will be asking this evening, and I'm sure once this movie is released, you the viewers, and we're not just talking about 1,000 or 2,000, we're talking about millions of viewers across the world who will be watching this movie here in the UK and right across the globe. And then you are the judges of what you think. It's your feedback that these producers and these directors are always looking forward for, and to make sure that even in the coming future they can make better movies for you, better documentaries for you. And of course, sometimes it's the reality, it's the work that goes in there. And in this particular movie, I've seen some clips of this movie, and to be honest with you, it's a very sensitive movie. Again, it's something which you need to particularly watch with your children, and then of course learn something. And there are many things. I've only seen a short clip of this movie, but there is a big lesson to be learned within this particular movie, which will be released in the coming weeks, I believe so. Just before I go ahead, I will first of all introduce you to the actor who's played this particular part in the movie as a religious scholar, as an imam, the one and only Manzoor Zaid Saab. First of all, welcome to Kanshi TV, welcome to Your Britain, sir. Thank you very much for coming this evening.
Thank you so much. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, Shahzad bhai. Thank you for your time. I appreciate Kanshi TV, and I appreciate you as a host, given us a chance today to come to this portal and express what we've done and present to the people, to the community, the cause, the project we've been working on. I'm just going to give a little brief about this film. The film name is Crushed Wings. Okay. And Crushed Wings is basically representing, it's not just, the title represents the background as a big message, and it's to do with the freedom. When somebody snatches away your freedom, you feel like your wings have been crushed. You cannot fly, you cannot do things which you want to do. The title is talking about and representing the freedom, and is also linked to not just human freedom, man's freedom, is also linked to women's freedom. Okay. And talking about tomorrow's Women's Day as well, we will be highlighting women's freedom. This film talks about young girls' freedom as well at the same time, young kids. Film highlights the issue of FGM. Okay. And FGM is also known as female genital mutilation. Okay. This practice is being carried out in many communities, many areas, locally, internationally, and globally. So it's not just one community or one area issue, it's a global issue. And to raise awareness on such topic, we came out with the idea. Lalit Bhusal, who's the director and producer and the writer of the film, started looking into the issue because his background is community related topics which are sensitive, topics which people should be educated on, people should have awareness on. These are the sort of topics Lalit touches. He hits these topics.
Okay.
And he done a little film, short film a couple of years ago, which was to do with the young girls trafficking.
Okay.
And we had a very good feedback, and he was praised for that film. That film also won the award, international award. Okay. After doing that project, Lalit came across this FGM issue, so he decided to do a film on it.
Okay.
And this is a little brief background of the film. And if you want to ask more questions, or if audience wants to engage,
we got as I says, it's linked up with the system. We got WhatsApp messages coming through as well. I'm speaking, so we'll be reading these out in a short while. Just before we, I've got so many questions for you, but just before I do that, I want to go straight on to Tanya State, who's also the actor acting as Emma, I believe, in the movie. But just before I do that, Tanya, first of all, welcome to Kanshi TV. Welcome to your Britain.
Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. I know tomorrow is International Women's Day. Millions of women around the world will be celebrating, and no doubt they should do as well, with all the great work. You know, just if we look in this country here in the UK, let alone going around the globe, women have day by day, from strength to strength, are working extremely hard in our communities. And the prime example I can give, a personal example I would say as well, is that where I've got both of my sisters. I do have more than two sisters, but both sisters are in the legal profession, both as barristers, you know, and they worked very hard, and it took them nearly 10 years to get to where they are at this moment. And you know, and just not just my family I'm referring to, there's millions out there, you know, women who worked hard, whether it's in the Asian community, the BME community, you know, the English community. We've seen women working very hard, and of course there is much more to do, no doubt about that. But once again, for tomorrow, congratulations to you as a woman, and I'm sure that you'll be supporting millions of women out there with the great work that you're doing as an actor and within this work of production. First of all, what made you come into production? Many people would want to know this. What attracted you to become an actor in particular in this movie we're referring to, which is Crushed Wings?
Yes, well, as you mentioned, we women have got a lot closer to getting the equality across the world, but there's still a really, really long way to go, long way, especially globally. You know, I believe as the human race, we're not free until we're all free, and that means making sure that women across the world have the same rights that we can have, the rights to safety particularly, and the rights to freedom and equality, and being free from abuse and child abuse. And when we're looking at this particular story of Ria, which, you know, FGM is covered a lot in documentaries, so there's a lot of information out there if you want to explore FGM across the world as an issue. But obviously with those documentaries, you're looking at it as a wide issue and how it affects people across the world as an overview. But the difference with this feature film, and what I love about the fact that we're doing this feature film, and it is the first feature film to ever be about FGM, is we're going completely the opposite direction. So rather than looking globally as an overview, we are looking at one person's story and journey, and that from beginning to end, how that affects so completely. As a viewer, you can immerse yourself in what would it really be like for you as one individual going through, walking in Ria's shoes, walking her journey, and from that perspective you get a completely different point of view of the same topic, because you're now experiencing what it's like as an individual to go through that and have that that filter on it. So that's what I love. It's a real connection, and therefore it's a very emotional connection as well.
I have seen that because I've seen short clips and trailers of that movie. It's very emotional. It's very heart touching, to be honest with you, of the clips that I've particularly seen, which have been obviously passed on from brother Mansoor to myself. And to be honest with you, I know a couple of months back there was also a premiere that which was taking place in Cannon Park, I believe,
Yes.
Regarding this particular Crushed Wings. However, my question is that how will the people benefit from this movie? Of course, there are many movies out there. We see movies all the time. We have many providers such as Netflix and many other suppliers at this moment. We have Sky. We have many channels, movies. But do we really learn something out of this movie?
Yeah.
Now you've said that you've created this movie first time. It's something has never been created in this sort of environment, to be honest with you, I should say. How is this going to benefit other communities, or particular the Asian community in a way right across the globe, or the BME community? Because when you're referring to FGM, many people will automatically, it will be referred, they will automatically be thinking about countries, particular third world countries. They will be thinking about straight away, will cross their mind, FGM, yes, it happens here, it happens here, it happens here. Whereas if somebody said that, I know there may be a few cases here in the UK, but it's not something that we see so often. It's hidden.
Yes.
So there may be cases, but not compared to where we give an example of a third world country where it's happening sometimes. In most cases, I've seen that after you've sent me the clips, I've seen documentaries. In broad daylight it's happening. In broad daylight. So
but
the benefits.
Often, the people, we're linked across all countries. So links with this country and all of those countries. So direct links through people's families. As Mansoor said, Lalit not only tackles issues, community issues, not only actually to educate and raise awareness, but specifically to bring about change, so to bring about social change. FGM is an issue which needs to be changed, it needs to be eradicated completely. We all agree, it's obviously illegal in the UK, we're in agreement that it needs to be completely stamped out, but the way it can be stamped out is by awareness and social pressure. This is a social issue. People can't just within their families decide that they're going to be the first family to go against the whole rest of their community and not do it, because then that will make them a social outcast. It will stop them from being able to they will worry that they won't be able to get married. So it needs to be an issue that is from the top down. The communities can say with the awareness and with their community leaders saying we are allowed to stop doing this now. So it needs to be a social issue, and that's where the media comes in. That's where films come in to bring about the change.
Thank you, Tanya. Let me just get back to Manzoor Bhai. Like Tanya said, community needs to get together. You need to make awareness, further awareness. I mean, you've got this platform which is reaching out to over 180 countries, millions of viewers, but that's just not a stop here. You need to go further steps to make sure that you promote this. You very well being from the Asian background, you know that it's very, very difficult to talk about these types of emotional movies or clips or documentaries or whatever you're trying to create to spread the word out. And in a good way you're doing this, not in the wrong way. But Asian community, particularly I'm talking about the Asian community, this is an Asian channel, sometimes or most of the time you might get criticized, and there's no doubt about that, you will get criticized. When this happens, what do you do? How do you face this criticism?
Shahzad Bhai, as you said, it is a taboo subject, and it's not the first time any taboo subject has been discussed. And if we're not going to discuss such subjects, then people will not be educated. There will be no awareness. And if you will be afraid of the criticism, then it brings you back to the square one. That what now? Because are we afraid to talk about it? Are we not going to talk about it? Or what will people say? And these are the thoughts will time and again come to your mind, and people will try to push you back, try to keep you where you are. So community pressure, the peer pressure, it always be there. And people will criticize you. But the thing is that you do not stop, you talk about it, and until your goals are achieved or people have come to a level where they know, yes, we can talk about it. Now we are comfortable. Otherwise there will be no comfort zone. And on this note, that you're saying that people, this film is all about education. It's not just we're highlighting a issue and people will not learn anything from it. That's not the case. People will learn, and they will learn so many things from watching this film. The film, I can say to you that it's Lalit and the team has generated a link on the website. Website is crushedwings.org. And from tomorrow, gone midnight tonight, if people want to watch it, it's for limited time only. For the Women's Day exclusive, Lalit is letting people to watch the film with a minimum fee. But I will come to you that what will happen.
As you're speaking, I have many people contacting me now. Obviously, people have their own words of questioning, so I will make it very simple for you rather than some of the questions that we get coming in. I think we've had one question saying that every religion, every culture works according to their system. Who gives you a right to change a system within a particular culture, a particular community, or a particular religion? That's one of the questions we've had, and I've got 3 or 4 more, but again, obviously I've made it very simple for our viewers to understand and put it in very polite words to yourself.
It's when we talk about rights, I am a human being, you're a human being. And if I see something that a human being or human life is in danger of something, the rights are being violated, or that particular life is not being even asked what is going to happen to her or to him in any way, then I think the rights are being violated. And if something is being done on the basis of cultural practices, then I think so we need to be very clear that what is religion says and what does a cultural practice consists of. Cultural practices are different, and religion, I think no religion allows any kind of oppression, brutal practices, or any kind of rights violation. All religions, they talk about human freedom, human rights, how to protect rights, how to defend equality. So this is about talking not just the rights of humans, it's also young girls, young children, how to stop the abuse. So we're discussing about abuse, educating people on abuse.
Do you feel that the community will really help you and support you in this?
Well,
and that's hand on heart, honest. Do you really believe that when you go out into schools, particular mosques, temples, gurdwaras, synagogues, similar institutions, I'll keep schools slightly out of this, but still I'll mention it because there's certain religious schools as well. Do you really believe that the community will say, welcome, open arms, and we'll support you on this and we'll work along with you? Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever been out to these institutions? Have you ever been out to the community out there?
Yes.
And what has your responses been?
Yes, so been to the mosques, been to the community people. I've met scholars from different backgrounds, and they really supported. If they were not giving their support, or if they would not have helped me to the role I played in this film, and when I was doing the research and I wanted to quote something from Holy Quran as well, my research was actually endorsed by the scholars that what you're doing is right and it should be done, and people should talk about it, and people should, if something is being done on the name of religion which is not even linked to the religion, and that's what we try to clarify in this film, that it has nothing to do with religion, it is not linked to a particular religion, and it has nothing to do with Islam. And let me be also very clear that in certain parts of certain countries, it's not just Muslim or Islam or Muslim people doing it, it's also the non-Muslim families are doing it as well. Non-Muslim communities involved as well, Christian communities are involved as well, there's other communities are involved, and they think because it's been done from thousands of years. Several
It's fine to
hundred.
do so.
It's fine. So, and they think
Tanya,
it's to do with religion.
Tanya, let me come back to yourself again. The reason why I asked you that question is because these are the questions which are being put forward by people, and we have to ask them. This is, as I said, a community-based program. In this program, we have doctors, lawyers, barristers, community activists, counsellors. You see this program for many years. Right across the board, we have people coming, from all backgrounds. And the whole point is that way we can interact with our viewers and get their feedback, and their questions. And the lines are open as well, by the way, viewers. I've got to mention that 01215024304. Live call. I can't promise you I will take your calls. I've got about nearly 30 WhatsApp messages to read out, and I can't get through all of them, so my apologies. 0300 770 2246. WhatsApp. I know you guys are constantly just WhatsApping me with a question. 0776 598 7635. Right, Tanya. Talk about churches for a second. How is the non-Asian community taking this on board? Have you been out there? What are your experiences?
I think at schools, children are being educated on FGM with the, obviously from the educational point of view, including documentaries. So this could be a nice extra tool for them because they are being taught in the curriculum about FGM anyway. Obviously, when we're looking at the say in the UK, FGM is hidden. So it's about, finding it and stopping it. So one of the ways that happens is that teachers are able to report if they think that somebody's going away from the summer holiday to go and have FGM, or if a child believes that another child or a sibling in their school, or a friend of theirs might be going away. Then they're allowed to report that. Then they're allowed to stop them at the border. To stop that happening is obviously illegal to go away for FGM. So from that point of view, in the UK, everybody is trying to stop it happening, but it is obviously a hidden procedure. So that's why it's so hard. It's not done on the open.
How much support are you getting from, i.e. institutions? Now we're leaving these religious institutions out of the way for a second. We've already discussed that.
Health institutions, because it is a health issue as well.
I'm coming straight to that point because that was another question which we've had from another viewer. Who else is supporting on this, i.e. government at any level, health, social, welfare? Who is interacting with you and supporting, and who are you guys working with to further promote this?
All of those, including, and obviously the NHS. When you're saying about, when we're looking at the film about crushed wings, when you're looking at intervening with a procedure that happens to young girls, so you're looking at intervening and stopping child abuse or child's rights being taken away from them, or something that's going to be very traumatic to them at that point in their life. And we cover that in the film with Ria, what happens to her when she's about 6 or 7, and therefore, how traumatic it is for her at the time. But the interesting thing is the repercussions that then go on for the whole rest of somebody's life, which we obviously researched a lot, and we cover it in Crushed Wings as well. That's where my character comes in when Ria is actually grown up, because as a health issue, it affects the woman going on, not just in terms of trauma, but also for their own body, and their own health is affected for the whole rest of their life as well. So that's where my character comes in, Emma, in order to help Ria at a later stage.
Another question, as we've just had another one, where is this film based? Where have you produced this film? Is it produced in the UK or... is it been produced in the UK? Is it been produced globally? Have you taken your camera crew out somewhere, or is it just been there? But just before we do that, we do have a live call, and I think it's fair just to take 1 or 2 calls otherwise. Hello?
Hello.
Gigi.
I just want to ask if this film about FMG has been passed by censors, because this film may be offensive on religious grounds. Some people may say that this is against the religion.
Has it been censored? That's your question. I think this is exactly the question I was asking now. Where is this film being based, or which country, or where? So we'll get your answer. You'll get your answer in the next few seconds. Anything else that you want to ask?
Just it's a very sensitive subject. That's why I asked this question.
No problem, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Many thanks for watching Your Britain. Thank you. I was exactly asking you that question. Where is the movie based? I mean, my producer is on my case and he's saying we've got 10 lines and 10 lines of flashing answer the phones. If I start answering the phones, I only have about approximately 20 minutes. We won't get through these questions, but I promise you in the next coming weeks, months, we'll give you more time. So viewers, please accept my apologies. We only have 1 hour and I know taking calls is going to be difficult for me to get these questions through. So you can WhatsApp me, keep WhatsApp me on 076. Yeah, I'm getting regular WhatsApp coming in 076 598 7635, and I'll try my best to ask as many questions that are coming in.
We principally shot in the UK, mostly in Birmingham, also in London and other parts of the UK, and Nepal. We did a lot of shooting as well.
Okay, so the crew went out to Nepal to and when you're talking about Nepal, obviously, did you go to what side of Nepal?
Southern Nepal.
Southern Nepal.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we were in Butwal and Kathmandu with 2 of the principal areas of shooting there. So a bit in the north, but mainly in the south, near the border.
Has the film been censored in the UK, or did you get licensed from elsewhere and just played here?
No, all the censors, everything is being done in the UK. The post-production been done in the UK. Yes.
ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब, आपको अपना जवाब तो मिल गया. You got your answer now. Film is being produced, directed and censored here in the UK. Some parts of the film has been shot in Nepal and maybe some of the parts here in Birmingham and London and so on. But it's all legit for you to watch, and not just to watch, to learn. The whole point of doing this program today is to make sure that we, in particular my guests, can highlight this issue so you viewers can learn something out of it and take benefit of what they're saying and take benefit of this movie. And believe you me, viewers, it's not very easy nowadays to release movies, let alone the censoring. Just the cost of getting the work put together, the actors, the role models and so on, uniform, costumes, and there's 101 things that go into a movie to create it, and finally you sit in front of your TV and watch it. For me, it's very simple. Switch it on, watch it, or go on YouTube and so on. But for these guys to go through the phases of creating it and getting it released, believe you me, it's a lot of hard work. Right.
And we were working for free. The actors were working for free. We were giving our time for free because it's a project that we're passionate about. We're humanitarians, so we want to bring about that change. It's activism. But also I would say, as well as the education of this, it's a real, it's a drama. It's very exciting. It's to watch it, it's a journey for you to go on, to enjoy going on that journey as well. And there is redemption, there is a happy, journey as well. So it's there is tragedy as well, but it's not just about education, because like for example, if you're learning something about history, it's much more exciting to watch a historical drama, a historical film, than it is to just learn from books. So
two further questions for you, Mr. Manzoor.
Just a quick one on the support, and I would just
sure, go ahead.
NHS obviously part funding, and we had support from crowdfunding as well, and most of the film is self-funded project, as you mentioned. Everybody wanted just for the cause. They've given their time, and as I said, the link will be active on the page from tomorrow. If people they want to see the film, limited time only, they see the film, paying by a minimum fee, and that fund and that money will go to, because the film has been sent to different international film and it has already won about 40 awards international. And that will help us to recover some of the cost of the film. So that's
because even with everybody working for free, it still costs a huge amount to make a film. Like you said, the equipment, the locations, everything. So
I normally go out a lot, especially when films are made here in the UK. They always invite us somehow, and live when they're recording or when the production team is there. To be honest with you, and it's very exciting and very knowledgeable for everybody, particularly for myself. And as I said, the hard work that goes in there. I mean, sometimes we just go there for a few minutes and we see exactly what's going on live. When you're seeing something live, it's a completely different story to when you're watching it on YouTube or something. And no doubt watch Tanya, the amount of work that you're doing, phenomenal right across the world. People are loving it. Obviously, in the media industry, and Zulbai will agree, we do get people who will criticize, no matter what you put in front of them in the screen, that you will always get criticism, particularly with certain communities. But let me just come back to you, and that link question, why I've mentioned that is because I've got a link question, is that do you really think, can you please ask your guests, do they really think that this will make an impact or a difference, or is this the only movie they're going to make and then end of the story and we never see them again?
No, 100% it will make the difference. As I said, we only do mainly focus on community related projects, projects which need educating people, projects which need awareness, help people to learn, and most of the time, 9 out of 10, these subjects are sensitive. But if we, as I said before, if we're not going to talk about it, then thinking of criticism, I think criticism is a good thing. It helps. And if you don't hear the other side of the story, what people have to say, then I think you cannot, you are not then projecting yourself better. So the more criticism comes, the more you can explain it better, the more people talk about it, the more better understanding everybody will have, and people will people will better understand what the cause was, why the project was made, and what have we done, and what are we trying to achieve.
And principally, we're about giving a voice to the people who don't have a voice. You know, Ria's character represents many, many children and women who didn't have a voice. We are giving them a chance for their story to be told. That is the whole reason that I became an actor, is to tell stories and to tell people's important stories for them too, because that's when communities and the world benefits from sharing each other's stories and of hardships. And
I think Crushed Wings is helping to give wings to the people. That's what I would say, because
true.
in reality we are talking about freedom, women's freedom, young girls' freedom. So Crushed Wings, that story, Ria is basically trying to give wings to others, so they can, so it will have a good impact. It will make a difference in the community, in the society, and locally, globally.
Okay, we do have further questions, some put in a very nice way, some put in a very unnice way, I should say.
No, that's fine.
That's the only thing I can say live on TV.
On this note, I would thank the audience.
Of course.
That they are engaging, they are interested, and they're sending their questions. And you're saying like lines are flashing and there's so many people. Right. So I thank them all.
How long, let me just ask you one or two other questions. How long is this entire documentary movie for? How many minutes is that?
1.5 hours.
Right, from start to end.
Start to end.
Right, okay. And
90 minutes max.
Right. Have you, obviously now it'll be officially released tomorrow, you're saying it'll be out, or is it been released?
It's exclusive.
Okay, so
it's not official. That's why that's what we're trying to push, that if people they want, because as I said, it is a self-funded project, part funded by the NHS and crowd-funded, but we need people's support. If people are interested that such topics should be discussed and such subjects should be highlighted, which to do with the awareness, educating people, then we want people's support to go and watch this film and then go onto Netflix or Amazon, request them to have this film on their portal. We are trying from our side our best that these platforms take this film on board, that so the message can go out globally.
Okay, 2 questions here we have again, well, one for me actually. We've had a question from a viewer saying, have you seen the movie? No, I haven't seen the movie. I've only seen trailers. Thank you for your question. I have no doubt that in the coming days I will, if I do get a chance, I will have a look at the movie, and then I'll give you some feedback on it, maybe during another program, but I'll definitely let you know what I think of it. Of course, everybody's entitled, for their opinion. I will get back to you on that one. And this one's quite a funny one. Nothing beats East is East.
I love East is East.
There you go. So we got a view there. Thank you very much. Anonymous, thank you very much. Nothing beats East and East. What's the difference between your movie and East and East? I think it's a very simple
Our movie sounds funny.
Our film is
not many laughs.
I mean, any film which is made out by anybody is a lot of effort.
And then you got Bendy Like Bear coming, wasn't he? That was another one. Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I love those light-hearted movies. This is not a light-hearted movie.
It's not a commercial. It's not a commercial
not
film,
funny,
but it's more of an educational and awareness film. It's not a comedy.
No,
film.
It's not a comedy. But I think that's right. I think it's the right tone that we take for tackling this subject. That hopefully it will be a deeply moving film. More of
If you're thinking that we have made a commercial project, which is people will go and they will be able to hear some music and dance and entertainment.
Okay.
No.
It's more of an educational and learning film, and that's what we classify this film as.
We've had another question from a viewer, particularly asking you, because you're based in Birmingham, as you said, is there any particular mosques that you have been to, or any imams that you have seen in Birmingham who've said that it's absolutely fine for, not yourself, but I'm generally talking about the whole movie now, I'm putting in perspective of the whole movie, that it's fine to touch or work upon this very sensitive issue. Brother, thank you very much. As I said, I won't mention your name, but thank you very much about your question. As I think partly I can answer that question for Manzoor by I've heard him say this, and I've spoken to him on many occasions, and we've spoken about this movie, and I've seen him in many religious institutions. No doubt he has spoken to many religious scholars. Now there's a big difference whether they accept it or not, and in his case he's made it clear that they have spoken to him and they are approving him up to some extent and happy with him to go ahead. And as I said before, that not everybody will be happy with this type of with these types of movies, to be honest, or documentaries, because it's something which Tanya said before, it's hidden. As for, if we talk about drugs, it's out there, it's open. It's nothing to be hidden.
Yes.
If you talk about bank robberies, burglaries, it's open, my friend, it's open, you can see it. Car robberies, you see it every day. You pick up your phone, you open up the social media. Thank you very much for people who are non-stopping, WhatsApping us. Thank you, I'll try my best to fit in a couple of more questions. So you're seeing all this openly. This particular sensitive issue, particularly in the UK, it's not that you would hear it on a dining table or at a dinner table. So if that's the answer you're looking for, I've made it very simple for you. It's not something, but maybe what you should do as a viewer, or maybe what the viewers should do, is at least speak to your family, speak to your friends, the people that you know. Just a general chit chat and say, look, this is the movie, Crushed Wings. This is what it's trying to convey. This is what the message is. The movie is trying to convey the message, basically, convey it right across the globe. What do you think of this movie? Let's watch it. I mean, what is it, a couple of quid to watch a movie or something?
Yes, yeah.
It's not much. We're not talking thousands and millions to watch a movie. A couple of quid just to watch it. And then make a judgment and get back to the producers, the directors, the actors, and even myself. Of course, I'd love to hear your feedback, and I can pass it on to Brother Mansoor and Tanya as well, and say, look, this is what we've covered on this particular day. This is what the viewers think. Where do we go from here?
Yes.
So, by all means, you're most welcome to do that. But before watching the movie and being judgmental, I don't support anybody, whether it's the production line or any other field. I don't personally support people making judgments without getting to the bottom of it and watching it as evidence and then making judgments. So, I think very clearly you've heard my answer, and I'm sure you'll be very happy with that. Go out there tomorrow, mate, get the movie, watch it, get back to us, and then we'll let you know how many mosques, how many churches, how many temples, how many religious scholars are supporting us on that. Okay?
I mean, that is the main thing we've done. We tried to clarify that religion, it has nothing to do with
I think
religion.
Tanya, people are automatically getting this into their
They're judging
head.
the book
instantly. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've had some WhatsApp messages which I don't even want to read out. Right, I'll be very honest with you.
Yes.
I don't want to read them out on air, right?
Yeah.
So I'm ignoring them, but I've got them here, and I don't want to read them out. But people are automatically judging this movie without even seeing the content of the movie, what's in the movie, what does it, you know, it's not something, you know, which is abnormal. Okay, maybe to some extent, or maybe to you individually, maybe abnormal. Oh, this has never happened, we've never heard about it. Okay, fine. But there are cases around the world in millions. If I start taking out stats and figures, and we haven't got the time, but I promise you in the next show, we'll have, you know, Mansoor Bhai and Tanya will have, get these guys to get you stats and figures of thousands, and I'm sure
3 million around the world. 3 million people around the world.
There are about 200 million, according to UN, at this moment. The
2
stake,
million
200
around
million,
the world, or
around
just
the
in the
world. No, around the world, at the
Right.
stake of going through or go through FGM.
So for somebody out there who thinks 2 million is a small number,
200 million.
200 million.
It's 200
million, then all I can say to you, live on TV's got to help you guys, then, to be honest with you. And you know my programs, I'm very frank and, you know, straightforward with you guys. 200 million people have been affected with this. So this is serious. It might not be serious here in Birmingham, the West Midlands, or, you know, where you are, or your next door neighbour, and you never know. You do not know what happens in your next door neighbour's house. Nobody knows that. You know, it's something that we cannot predict without watching this movie. So I'm totally shocked myself with this figure that you've given me of 200 million people around the world.
That's 200 million young girls affecting or
what
at the
ages
risk.
do you think, Tanya, are these unfortunately, in my opinion, sad? That's all I can say. You know, sad activities that are taking place. I could even further on go on and say criminal activities, to be honest with you, but I'm not in a position to say that. But these activities, what age are we talking about?
Quite often between 5 and 7, but sometimes it's happening younger, sometimes even, you know, even from babies. So yes, there is the element of, you know, our activism. The reason we are trying to bring about change across the world is so that this film can go global, like Mansoor said, to get out, to be used as a community tool. You know, the positive about FGM is that across the world, communities are deciding to eradicate this practice completely, or many communities have. In the previous generation it was happening, and now it has already stopped, and then the neighbouring community is going to be stopping, and this always needs to come as a community issue where the leaders of the community actually lift it off and say, no, we don't do this anymore, so that everybody at the same time as a blanket issue can be told you don't have to do this. So that is why it needs to be coming as an outside pressure. It's not something that people in their families can just decide, well, we're going to be the ones to stop this, even if they don't want to. You know, very often the mothers of the children don't want this to happen to their daughters, very often. Sometimes the fathers don't, you know, but they're not allowed to go against their society. So it needs to be a whole community at one moment deciding, and that is what's happening across the world. And the reason it's happening, government pressures within the community and the community leaders, documentaries which are helping very much, and education, and spreading the word, and that's what this is. The aim of this is. The other thing is that the reason it's nice to have education in Britain or in other countries about, you know, the people who've had it happen when they were younger and are now grown up, is just that education of thinking, if this person did have this when they were younger, and the trauma, some of the trauma might have released from that, but they are still going to have that and be affected by this issue even as an adult. So it's just being able to see from that perspective of people who may have had it as well.
I've got 2 further questions for you. I think that these will probably be the last 2 questions. We only have 5 minutes, but I've tried to get as many questions in, to be honest with you. I apologize for those people that are calling. I just haven't got the time to take your live calls. Otherwise, there's no way I could have asked so many questions. We had a viewer saying, what's the point of FGM in terms of, you know, once these girls have grown up, they go out, you know, we live in a democratic country, civilized, freedom, equality. So basically what he's trying to say that it is very rare and difficult to believe that this is happening in the UK. Now, I haven't got any stats. So if you've got any particular stats, I know you've given 200 million for the world, but in the UK, if you've got a...
It is hidden in the world.
In the UK, it's very easy. They can go to Google, type in how many cases in the UK, and the figure will come in front of them. These days, everything is on your fingertips. And
But this particular viewer believes he finds it difficult to believe that this is happening in the UK. Now, he's put a further a question saying it might happen
the legislations. UK is one of the countries those who try to put legislations in place. And this is what other countries should be doing. Their members of parliament should be going into the parliament and discussing about these issues to bring legislations in place to make the law and order situation better in them countries. So to make the children safe. There's very few cases in the UK, but it's not like they're not existent.
It's illegal in the UK, and not many people have been prosecuted, but obviously that's because it is illegal. If there are any cases, it's all going to be hidden. But then you've also got the issue of people being linked with other countries and their families, and also you've got the issue that people can go abroad and have it abroad, maybe in the holidays, which is an issue that happens a lot, and then come back to the UK. So they're living in the UK, but they haven't actually had it in the UK. Then that's a different thing, and that's where we were saying, the border control comes in, because it is illegal, and it's also illegal for people to go abroad to get it.
Let me ask both of you a question. This applies to both of you. In most cases, you probably come across victims.
Yes.
Especially if you're out of the UK, particularly in Nepal and other third world countries, you obviously trying to promote this right across the globe, not just here in the UK. Have you ever had a chance of speaking to parents, individuals, families? Have you ever crossed those borders where you had a word with them, and what have their responses been? Why are they for me maybe it's cruelty, but for other people it may not be. So being on the borderline.
So spoke to recently, I've interviewed a survivor. So that's how they want to be referred as. So I spoke to one of the survivors and in quite detail, and all of her cut procedure was not done in the UK, but her was done in one of the countries in Africa. And she explained everything, and it is very traumatic. Believe me, once a girl goes through such procedures, such practice, that trauma does not go away. She is living with that thing every day, going through that thing every day, and it is very hard for me to when people think like, oh, it cannot happen in the UK, or it's not happening in the UK. What makes you believe that it cannot happen in the UK, or it won't happen in the UK? There are survivors living in the UK, in Birmingham, in London, and other cities as well. Those who have been through this practice, and they are campaigning for this practice. I can give names
because
as well.
Remember that this practice does not just
we're not giving names of anybody here. But
remember that this procedure doesn't just affect the children with the trauma at the time. It then gives them lifelong complications, and in the cases of many survivors, if they've had a severe type.
Without coming across to such individuals, I wouldn't be sitting here and talking.
I'd love to carry on. More questions are coming, but we haven't got time. We only got 1 minute left, which is going to be 30 seconds for you each, for yourselves. But I promise you, viewers, what I'll do, because this is something I wouldn't say new for me, but obviously something that I haven't much in-depth researched about or come across. To be honest, very rare. I can only
watch
speak for
the
myself.
film, because it's a way of finding out and educating yourself, but in an interesting, dramatic way. So you're going on the story, you're going on the journey. Crushedwings.org to watch the film.
You don't worry about that. I'll definitely watch the movie, and I'll definitely promise you, viewers, people that Mansoor Bhai and the rest of the team have spoken to, because obviously you're saying this is very rare. I promise you I'll be working with him in the next couple of weeks, months, just to see what's going on, and I assure you, if I find any victims and if we are allowed, and they do allow us to take their interviews, we will do some short recordings and bring them back to you, and then you can have a look for yourselves whether this is reality or whether you think this is just I just don't know what to say, to be honest, after that. But we'll work with you when it comes to, you know, your next movie, some sort of production, some sort of live clips, and then also some people that you've spoken to. I don't have much time, to be honest, but in this instance, I will work with yourself just to have a look at insight what's going on. You know, if this really is the case. And I promise you, viewers, being neutral, as you know me very well, you know, I conducted many programs with many people. I always try to be very neutral, but when it comes to reality, I always hit hard. You know that very well. But in this case, why I've been very lenient today is because I have not been much involved in this particular subject or issue. But from now on, I promise you I'll do that, and then we'll get you some feedback, and then we'll take things from there. But I can assure you, Mansoor, by being very respectable individual in our community, also Tanya, very respectable lady, you know, both very respectable in their own ways in our communities. They would have been doing this if there was nothing happening out there. I can assure you that much. By how much, what the limit is, that is something I will get back onto you. Thank you very much, Mansoor Zaid Saab. Thank you very much for coming on to Your Britain. Thank you, Tanya State, for coming on to our show. Many thanks. You're most welcome anytime.
Mr. Shahzad, thank you for the work you do.
No, thank you.
The word I don't have enough words to thank you, and Kanshi TV as well, and Sky Channel 772, and to the audience as well, those who have been so engaged.
Thank you.
And sending
Thank you very much. See you same time, same place next Monday, 5 p.m.